The bicentennial for Jacksonville is right around the corner, so we're doing whatever we can to learn more about this great history and city. Right now I'm with Yoli from Explore Jack's Core. You are a historian, you know all the facts here, and this is a place that you wanted to meet up at because it is just full of history, and that is James Weldon Johnson Park.
Yes.
I'm a tourist right now because I got a GoPro with me as we walk around. So there's obviously a lot of significance when we talk about this park, but there's other things that happen almost at each corner of it.
Yes.
All right, so I guess let's explore these corners.
Let's do it. Let's head that way. The park has been redesigned over the decades, right? It doesn't look the same as it did originally. And it's always been, particularly that time when you talk about public transportation, it has always been the town square where you would interchange your public transportation. You'd either catch a cab here. Before there was the monorail system, you catch a bus on either one of the four corners to take you wherever you needed to go. City Center is that place, and there's a statue over here, a placard of John F. Kennedy when he visited the park, and while he was campaigning for President of the United States. Jacksonville was one of those stops. Jacksonville is a historic town, and it was a city to be contended with. You needed to get through and past, you needed to get some of these southern cities. It wasn't Florida, it wasn't Miami, it wasn't Orlando, it was Jacksonville. So this is a special stop that we walk past this statue all the time. Yeah. And you don't realize that it is,
I'm guilty of that.
Because he visited the park and he had a rally in the park. We've got one last stop over here, which is near and dear. But if we pay attention to this big building in the foreground, that's the federal courthouse now. But before it was the federal courthouse, it was the Woolworth store, right? Which is why we're headed to this last corner over here. And during the 1960s, that was where the Woolworth store was, and the efforts of the youth of the NAACP were protesting non-violently, and the Morrison's Cafeteria, which is located in that building where the Dalton Agency is at now. That was the Morrison's Cafeteria, and they came here with the adults that were instructing them on how to protest and how to organize, and this was their contribution on the civil rights movement, on how to desegregate the Woolworth lunch counter, and that's why we're here, because this is the marker that was installed also to commemorate the Axe Handle Saturday, an event that happened 50 plus years ago by now, right here in the park, where there was an attack on the protesters by the counter protesters, and it was bloody, and very little media coverage and things along that line. We've heard the story, but this is why this particular placard is here in the park. Again, it's the city center, and if everyone focuses their attention here, this particular park covers 150 plus years of history. And with it and the surrounding buildings, and before it was there was a Washington Hotel. And this was the city center. We've got the Snyder Chapel over there, which was some of the protesters ran to for cover, and some of them just ran back to the neighborhoods. They just scattered. So that's why I think this park is so important and so instrumental, and I hope that I'm sure that it'll be here for another 100 years.
And to your point, it's amazing how much history we have. Here we go to a park, and we just literally made a lap, and there's all these historic events that happen around this area, and that's just one location in downtown Jacksonville. Just imagine what's out there in the 904. It's so much.
And if you go to the other southern cities that are historic Savannah, historic Charleston, they all have city centers. They're designed a little bit differently, and so our consolidation kind of makes it a little bit more difficult. But when you deal with the original city core and you deal with the exact design of it, that's what we have. We have the design, it's here. It was plotted out, and it's pretty much the same as it was 100, 200 years ago. Literally.
Thank you so much for all your time and information. I know a lot of viewers at home, they want to learn more, and they could do just that with your service, and that is Explore Jack's Core.
That's right.
Where you could get carted around in that ride right there and learn. How can people learn about that?
Well, they can learn about that. I would love for them to follow me on social media, Instagram or Facebook. They can go on my website, which is explorejackscore.com. There's a bio there. You can book online also. And you can just call me if you want to chat. I can put together a special experience for those of you who want a little something different. That's what we do also, and shuttle service as well.
Well, thanks again for all your time and information.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I learned a lot.
Hey.